Hi guys, it's Faye and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about how I plan. Now, like I said in my newbie tag, I don't feel like I have enough experience or just credibility to be giving anyone advice. So I'm just going to talk about what I do, and whether you take that as advice or not is down to you. Don't know why I just did gun fingers, but hey, it happened. So I always start with a basic outline. And by basic outline, I mean bare bones. So by bare bones, I mean what is the point of this story. So with my current work in progress, I didn't actually have that basic outline before I started it, because the main plot point didn't come to me until after I'd started writing it. So I'd already kind of envisioned the first few chapters and I kind of had a basic idea where I was going with it, so I just got stuck in. But then I kind of got to a point where I was like, well, I need to know what's going to happen so I can like map out where people are going, when and why, and why is a big thing. Why? Like, I could put people on the moon, but if there's no reason for it, what's the point? It's just a lot of wasted words. So I always have like a rough outline, although I'm wary to call it an outline. It's more of a point to the story. So it's not really a plot outline. It doesn't always have something to do with what I've written already, but it's hard to explain, really. It's kind of just like the big question of why, and that's how I answer that, and that's my plot outline. So I don't like to have tiny little details anymore. I used to. Used to. But now I just kind of go for have what I need and then work around that. Then I have to create my characters. Now obviously characters are really important to the story, otherwise you kind of wouldn't have a story. But I create my characters by giving them, I start with the personality. I don't think about what they look like. I think about their personality, their traits, their strengths, their weaknesses. Not necessarily for every single character, because I am known for having quite a lot of characters. I should really try and limit that. What you can do. So once I've got my characters' basic personality, I normally have a rough age as well, just because it helps me. I then find a picture of someone who I think would suit that personality, and that becomes my character. So when I'm writing, I'm often referring to pictures because it helps me to describe to you guys what the character's seeing. So I write in first person. So if I'm looking at an image of this other character that I'm describing, I feel like it comes out a lot better and more of a clear picture than if I just kind of thought about it. It also keeps the consistency because I'm working off an image. Their looks are never going to slightly change because, I mean, unless they get like a haircut or like plastics. Not the point. So because I'm working off an image, the picture won't change. So the description of this character won't change. Now, I'm very much for giving the audience as much information as they need, but with character description, just, we all need to remember that there's a middle, there's a grey area between giving them too much description that there's no room for imagination, and then too little description that they kind of just see a black blob called Mark, or I don't know. So there needs to be that kind of grey area, which I think is something that I can work on. Obviously I'm working off an image, so sometimes I have to reel it in. But yeah, that's characters. So next I look at locations. Now that can be anything from what world am I plotting in? You know, is it in our world that we know? Is it in a made up world? Is it, are we on a completely different planet but it's in our solar system? That kind of thing I like to think about, and then narrowing that down to specific locations. I guess my writing style is more like movie planning. So I picture it as, this is the big picture, and then these are the scene points. And that's how I actually write my chapters. I write them in scenes, and I write them in scenes via set, if you want to put it in movie terms or TV terms. So when I say locations, I mean, are they in the woods? Are they in the middle of New York City? You know, what are the defining features? And again, with location, I like to work from pictures. So I like to think of what roughly I want from this location. What is the general, let's go for a forest. So I'd be like, I want a forest. I'm thinking the forest is mainly going to be there at night time. We're writing a werewolf story, let's go with that. So we're normally in the forest at night. It's a really big forest, it holds at least 2 packs and they don't ever cross over. So I want a big forest, I want a dark forest. I kind of want it to look spooky, so it keeps like the humans out, so we can kind of work around that. So then I go mostly on Pinterest. Pinterest is amazing, and I'll type in big dark forest werewolves fantasy, and I'll just keep filtering words until I go, yes, I like that. Take the image, and then that's what I use to describe the trees, the ground, the atmosphere, you know, because I can put myself in that location. I find that really helpful. Some people might find that too confining. Probably imagine pantsers will find that suffocating, and maybe plotters, you know, will have a massive long list of every single detail and every single insect that's in that forest. I don't know, but this is obviously how I plan. My number one favourite thing to do when planning is to colour code. Now, this isn't going to be for everyone. This is to do with my hyper organisation. I just need to know everything. So the one that I use it most on are my characters. Especially because, like I said, I tend to use a lot of characters and a lot of different races, let's call them. So by races I mean I'll have a colour for humans, a colour for elves, a colour for witches, vampires, werewolves, fairies, all of them will have a different colour, because in certain scenes I'll have only witches or only vampires, or there'll be kind of like a conflict between the races. So vampires and werewolves can't be in a scene together, or if they are, it's going to be a fight scene or something. So colour coding the characters gives me that information that I need, that I can just flick through and go, oh okay, so this scene I'm just going to have the witches, here are all the witches, like this scene I'm just going to have the werewolves, or in this scene I'm going to have a fight scene between the vampires and werewolves, because that seems to happen all the time. Why can't they just get on? But yeah, another thing I like to colour code is my chapters. I very much like to know when my characters are coming in to the story, so what chapter they're coming in. So if I've got 3 characters coming in the first chapter, they'll be colour coded to that chapter. If I've got another 6 coming in the second chapter, I do not, but I'm just saying. So I know when everyone's coming in, and then it kind of gives me the why they're coming in, and it can kind of start to shape the chapter. So it's just something that I find really helpful to have. It's that simple, really. So last but not least, world building. Now, every kind of part of planning that you do goes into your world building. No doubt about it. Characters, places, you name it, it's part of world building. Whether you are plotting in our world or a made-up world, it's all world building. And I am going to make another video based purely on world building and covering kind of the nooks and crannies that I've found some people miss out, in my opinion. But you know, world building, obviously I have images for my locations. I like to put the locations kind of on a map, so I can see the distance between each place. I can see where my characters are going, kind of like you know the map, I think it's Marauder's map in Harry Potter, and it's got all the footprints, kind of like that. So it has my first chapter location, second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever, and I can plot where they're going. It's just a tracker, really. It's part of my planning. I'm not going to delve too much into what I do for world building, because like I said, I am going to make another video for that. And with that said, I am going to end this video here, because I realise I talk too much. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments. If you've got any ideas, if you use the same sort of techniques as me, you know, let me know. Feel free to subscribe. I'll be posting every Monday. Until next time, guys. Bye. I feel so basic right now.